All right, welcome everybody. I see some names pulling in, jumping in here. Why don't you guys go ahead and as you're logging in here and agreeing to all the Zoom recording stuff, why don't you guys just jump into the chat there? You should be able to jump into the chat and just let us know where you're tuning in from, and then also let us know what you had for breakfast. So you can just jump in the chat.
What you had for breakfast. I like that. I like that, Mark. That's a good one.
Yeah. If you're on the West Coast like me, you may have not had breakfast yet, because it's still 9 a.m., but that's okay.
I'm like a 4:30 wake up person. So today was like 3:30. So I've definitely had breakfast already.
Nice, nice. Dustin put in the Q&A that he's from Salt Lake City and hasn't had breakfast yet. Well, I'm with you, Dustin. Haven't had anything. Megan said coffee for breakfast. Uh, Daryl's on the road in Long Beach right now. Kodiak cakes. Ooh, sounds good. Sarah's had peanut butter toast. That's so good. I don't know if you guys have tried peanut butter on pancakes. That is really good. Peanut butter and applesauce. That was like what I had all the time as a kid growing up. It was delicious. It was so good. Awesome. We'll give it just a couple more minutes while everybody joins in, but really excited to have you guys here today. We're going to be talking about some really awesome stuff. It's been just an honor and a privilege to get to know Jordan over at Upgrowth Commerce here the last few months as he's been kind of joining forces with Because, and we're working together to kind of really help all D2C brands thrive in Shopify world. So excited to have Jordan on today. Um, Also, if you guys know of anybody on your teams as we're getting started here, feel free to like invite them here at the last minute. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, we are going to talk about Facebook ads, and my media buyer should be on this webinar right now. Definitely feel free to invite them in. I believe you guys should just be able to invite people in on the Zoom links that you registered with. Also, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So at the very end of this call, for those that are still on this call, we're going to be doing a cool little giveaway with like a kind of a swag box from various customers of ours over at Because. So you're going to get some swag from Chomps, some awesome beef jerky sticks. You're going to get something from Zach, the cool Tumbler brand, some stuff from Duke Cannon. So definitely make sure you guys stay through the end, because if we spin that little wheel towards the end and you're not here live, you're not going to be able to win. So cool.
Sounds like good stuff. Sounds
Yeah,
like great stuff.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you guys know Duke Cannon, but they're awesome. We love Duke Cannon. I've got their product in my hair right now, which they're not a sponsor
Oh,
of this webinar, but we love them.
but
They're
they should be. That's what I always say on my podcast. I'm like, if I ever call someone out, I'm like, not a sponsor, but could
yeah,
be.
yeah. Here's the invite to become a sponsor. So cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and dive in and start sharing my screen here, and we're going to run through the presentation. You guys feel free to interact on the chat too. We've got the chat going. You guys are jumping in there and putting what you had for breakfast, which is awesome. But go ahead and just like, as we're on this call, feel free to just interact with the chat. You can ask questions there. You can also ask questions in the Q&A section as well. So let's get things going here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Gonna go into present mode here. Cool. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Cool. Well, welcome to our webinar today. We're going to be talking about troubleshooting your Facebook ads and how to boost your Shopify revenue. We've got Jordan here from Upgrowth Commerce. He's the founder and CEO. And then I'm here from the Because team, part of that customer success team over at Because. And so excited to really talk about all things. Jordan's going to be taking over the Facebook part. I'm going to be talking about kind of how do you guys take that Facebook traffic and then make the most out of it by increasing conversion on your Shopify stores. So here's going
Awesome.
to be a little bit of the agenda. So Jordan's going to be talking about how to maximize AI for ad success. He's also going to be sharing about some strategic ad management. I'm going to be talking about personalizing those sites for ad visitors, and then also how to make the most of A/B testing, and then how can that funnel back into your ads. Here's our lovely faces again. I think we look like we're just a good duo here.
Like, how
So
accurate are they to us? I think that's the real question. That's what I love to see, like on LinkedIn. Like, is that an accurate representation of you, Mark? I would say yours is. I'd say mine
yeah,
is too. That was mine was actually over 5 years ago.
mine
That
was
was
a couple years
yeah,
ago. I worked in an organization where we had a professional photographer that just loved doing photo shoots for us. So yeah, my beard's not as intense, but I would say still got the same glasses and mostly same haircut.
awesome.
Yeah, cool. Well, here's just some fun facts about what we do for both of our brands. So, Upgrowth Commerce is responsible for meeting 88% of CAC targets for brands, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Jordan.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just a like Mark said, say something nice about Upgrowth, and I'm like, I don't know, we do so much at Upgrowth. I've done so much over the years. If you guys have followed me in brand world and in agency world and all of that, one of the things I'm the most proud about is just the fact that like I'm like what speaks to like how well our team is doing, and the one number that we're tracking every single week is just like how many of our clients are meeting CAC targets. So 88% right now are meeting CAC targets, customer acquisition cost targets. To me, that's just a huge win. And the reason why I feel like I can speak to this today and help you guys out with this is that I really actually believe in what we're doing. We've used it on our brands, and hopefully, you guys will be able to use it and actually see success. That's what I want to speak to.
Awesome. Cool. And then on the because side, we help brands out. We work with over 1,000 merchants. You're going to see some more data later, but just to kind of give you a tease, we really do we help brands see about a 25% conversion increase. And then I'm putting a 7% add to cart rate increase just because of the examples you're going to see today is 7%, but we've seen upwards of 15, 20, 25% for add to cart increases, which is pretty awesome. So cool. Well, without further ado, I'm going to turn the table over to Jordan as he's going to take this first part. But before I give it over to Jordan, I kind of want you guys in the chat to just maybe hype him up, give him some fire emojis, give him
Yeah, I
something
need
good
that. I need that today, guys.
Yeah, it's early for both of us. We're both West Coast boys right now, so feel free to just like jump in there and even as either myself or Jordan are sharing, like if something's resonating with you guys, just throw it in there in the chat. But Jordan, I'll turn the table over to you and just let me know when you're ready to move on to the next slide.
Awesome. Great. Guys, thanks everyone for being here, spending some time with us this morning. Understand your time is incredibly valuable, and we don't want to take that for granted. So what I want is really to give you guys a ton of value today. We can go quickly through my slides. If you guys don't know me, at one point I owned up to 6 brands, not up to, I owned 6 brands. And I've been working in this space for a long time. Over the past couple of years, I've really focused on helping other brands. I've done a lot of consulting in the space, helping brands actually figure out how to grow, what the best ways to grow are. There's this kind of idea out there that you have to be everywhere at all times, and I just don't think that that's actually the case. I think that really focusing on one specific area is the way to be, with having some other legs of the stool. And for me, that main leg is still Meta. It still outperforms everything else, even with bad performance. Meta is still the driver for most big brands these days. And so, I get to see tons and tons of different brands and what's working for them and what's not, and still have my fingers in the pie of a lot of those brands. And so it's really fun. I really enjoy doing it. And that's basically what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be going through all of that with you. I'm going to be, for me, this isn't going to be a big slide presentation, nothing against a big slide presentation. I'm just going to be going through and live showing you a lot of, sort of what's working. And then hopefully you guys will have something tactical to take away. So we can go to the next slide, Mark, if there's anything else on me. Yeah, brand agency owner. Awesome. Podcast. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We have had, I don't know what is going on this month. We've had 180,000 downloads of the podcast this month. I don't know who shared it or something, but anyway, if you guys want to check out the podcast, lots of other people are right now. Secrets to scaling your e-commerce brand. I don't even think there's that many people in e-commerce, so I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, go check it out. And I actually like the bottom part there. I legit care. I really do. That's why I do this. I spend a lot of time sitting down with people and just helping them out if they can't, afford consulting. People know, if you've ever worked with me, I do charge a lot. So every once in a while, I'll just give people free time because I actually care. So yeah, we can move on to the next one here, Mark. Yeah, sweet. Let's dive in. Okay. I am going to share my screen and I'm going to talk to you guys about a few different things here because I'm very excited. And just give me one sec here. We are going to go into this one. All right. Give me one sec, guys. I'm just going to share my whole desktop here, is what I'm going to do. I think that's going to be the easiest. All right. Can everyone see a blank screen? If you can see a blank screen, well done. You've done it. Still, what I want to talk about here is some of the big issues, and I'm gonna screen share, but really just focus on what I'm saying here at first. I'm going to be going through this. This is a document that I made about a month ago now, and what I was really trying to solve for is the massive issues that I'm seeing everybody have on Facebook. If you go to Twitter, if you go to LinkedIn, if you just go in general into e-commerce, you're seeing a ton of people struggling. And it's funny because a lot of people will be like, well, I'm not actually sure if Facebook ads drive everything. I'm not sure. But then when things are going bad, they obviously realize like, oh my gosh, this is actually where we're acquiring all of our customers. And we went through our clients and then we went through our brands and I went through and I talked to a lot of different people and I tried to pick out what are people doing that seems to be actually working. And the first part of it is probably the biggest part, and I'll say that about every part of it. but the first part is probably the easiest to tackle, and it's data. So I want to go through this. Oh, just so you guys know, like, sorry, we work with a ton of brands. If you, I'll give you guys this document afterwards, so you guys can look through. The big thing to see in this document is just like every single brand that we've touched this year, we are crushing CAC targets, and it's crazy. You'll see some in here like really big brand in the drinkware space, getting $11 CPA for them, absolutely unheard of. This is not abnormal, right? But it's because we're doing these certain things. And so I just want to give you like the actual formula for how to do it. Whether or not you have the capacity to do it in-house or not is another question. There are some things in here that maybe I'll tell you what to do, but it's a matter of whether the people on your team or your media buyers or your agency or whoever it is actually is able to do it, right? And is actually able to execute on this stuff. I see people trying to emulate this, and a lot of times, if there's not expertise, they're not able to emulate it, and that's definitely a big problem. So, what are we doing differently? Number one is data management. All right, so data management is a huge part of this. You know what? I'm just going to go actually just into this one part here. So, data management and integrity is a huge part of this. Number one, people think that the Shopify pixel is all that there is, right? Sorry, the Shopify connector, the Shopify API that goes from Shopify and sends data back into the API. And so most people have probably done that. I know I talked about this a long time ago, like when iOS 14.5 came out. Essentially, what happened when iOS 14.5 came out is all of that data stopped being fed into the pixel from phones. Now, Facebook has done an incredible job, or Meta's done an incredible job of creating these AI models around this to try to find these shoppers. They're incredible at it. Now, what does every single AI model need? Well, it needs data. So the more data that these models have, the better that they are going to perform. The more of your data that they have, the more that they're going to perform. They cannot send all of that data back themselves and match all of that data because of Cambridge Analytica and a bunch of different issues. They could do it. It's not as though they can't. They just won't do it because of lawsuits and of all of these data privacy issues. But you can. And the majority of brands are not doing it. And that's the problem. And so we recommend tools like Elevar, like Popsicle, like Upstackified. These are all tools that we recommend to send the majority of the data back in. I don't really care which tool you use, just use one of those tools. If you were spending any amount of money on Facebook over like, let's say $10,000, you must be using one of these. You know, jump off this webinar, go and download one of those. No, I'm just joking. Don't jump off. But you need to have one of these. And again, I'll share the full document with you guys. This is just kind of a bit of a teaser doc. I will share the full document over with you guys so that you can see what uh, all of the different recommendations that I make with data. Again, we don't have like a ton of time. I don't want to take up tons of your guys' time today, but I do want to let you guys know that number one, make sure that you have the right data going back to the Pixel. What it's going to do is, and Pixel API, it's going to make it smarter, and it's going to make it so that you're actually able to number one, retarget a lot more people. Number two, give Facebook the idea of who's actually converting, right? So, hey, who does actually convert when it comes to this? It's going to make everything smarter. And as we get into some of the other areas, it's going to make those areas much more efficient. So data is massive. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there. You can tell I'm not really computer savvy these days. Just kidding. Number two, and this is a massive, massive issue, and something that I wanted to make sure to have as part of the giveaway for me, if you guys stick around to the end and talk about this, and it's creative optimization. I have looked at so many creative accounts, and I try and do this actually 2 to 3 times a week. It actually ends up being, I think this week I've looked at 6 different creative accounts. And this is the big issue that I'm seeing, is that people don't understand the emotion behind why people buy. It's huge. And so creative is massive. You need to rethink your creative strategy, and it has to first start with psychology, right? The best brands that I see out there, they are the avatar of their customer. They're the perfect avatar. And so they understand and they can empathize and they can be like, oh, okay, what does this person want to hear? What is driving them? And so we have this whole framework where, we basically look at the 9 emotional drivers of people. We identify using reviews what those drivers are. And so generally I'll walk through people's creative and I'll see like, okay, what is it about this one? And we'll find these hidden gems within their creative that they've generally turned off. Yesterday, I found one in an account that their CPA was an average of $88, right? And the AOV was like 86. So average CPA of $88. I walked through and they had 500 different creatives running in the account. 500. How in the world are they going to be able to test this? And so I walk through and I find this one gem in there. And this one gem, the CPA on it is $11, which is crazy. The CPM, so the cost per 1,000 impressions, which tells us that Facebook actually likes the ad. Remember that, and I'm going to talk about that in the third part. When your CPM is low, what it's saying is that Facebook actually likes what you're putting in front of people, right? Facebook is all about giving the best user experience. And so if you're putting up ads that look like ads, you're probably not going to give the best user experience, and thus you are going to get penalized with high CPMs from Facebook. That is the way that it works. And I'm sorry if your CPMs are high comparatively. This one had a CPM that was 80% lower than the rest of the account. And it had a cost per click of like 40 cents right away. But the problem was it had been cut off after spending like $50. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. It was whoever was media buying in their account. I have no clue who would turn that off, but it did get turned off. And we looked at it and we thought, I looked at it, not we. I looked at it and thought, I understand why this particular ad is doing so ridiculously well and why it will do well. And it all comes down to psychology. And there was a big fear sort of factor in this one particular ad, this fear of, it was a battery charger. And it was like this fear of the charger running out, right? And identifying that fear. And it showed on the very first part of this UGC video, a dead battery on an iPhone. Who does not like immediately their heart sink when doing that? And it was out walking in the woods too. So I'm a mountain biker. Guys, this is normally my mountain biking day, just so everyone knows, but I decided, I was like, it's the only day I can fit this in. So normally I'd be out on the trails on a Thursday, just so everyone knows, but you guys are special. So we're here. And when it's a terrifying feeling to be out on a trail with no battery, right? But you don't get that from like a classic sort of UGC video, right? You don't get that sort of like, unless you actually understand the psychology behind why people buy things, you don't get that. And so that's what I walk through in a creative growth plan. If you guys stick around to the end, I am going to be giving out a couple of them for you guys, something that I normally charge $1,000 for. It's something I want to, I've been trying to help people out with lately. Again, so many brands are struggling with this, but it's very important the way that we look at creative and the way that we actually make creative. To me, this is a massive part of why our clients are successful, why our brands have been successful. And when you look at ads and start to dissect them in this way, you'll actually realize, oh, this is why this brand has been able to be so successful in ads. Also, it's very important to understand what's bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, and top of funnel, because we no longer, and we'll get into number three, into ad account structure right now, because this all kind of flows together. In ad account structure, we no longer are going to say something should be bottom of funnel. It should be retargeting, right? We're going to let Facebook decide. Facebook is so much smarter than we'll ever be. We love seeing all these LLMs like ChatGPT. I mean, I'm using ChatGPT constantly throughout the day. Facebook's AI is so smart. It's probably the smartest AI out there. They're just using it to sell stuff all the time. And so remember that their AI is going to be smarter than you ever will. Facebook is your business partner, right? Their incentive is for you to spend more money and keep people on the platform longer. If you understand that, then you'll stop trying to push against Facebook and do things like cost caps and all of these things that are like just completely against. Think about working with a partner and trying to work together to build something beautiful, but always like hamstringing them, right? Like every single time that you go along, you're like, no. I know you're really smart when it comes to this, but I'm going to do things my own way, right? It's not going to be a great relationship. And it's the same thing with Meta and with ads. And so the structure that we have found that's worked is one campaign per business objective. So if we're trying to sell shirts, we're going to have, that's going to be our business objective, and that's going to be one campaign. And within that campaign, we're going to have multiple ad sets set up, but we're going to have winners in their own ad set. And we're going to test everything else against those winners. And so something that somebody asked, people will ask me is, so it's in campaign budget optimization. So we're only having the budget go within the campaign itself. And so Facebook is now going to decide where they're going to spend the money, right? They're going to decide, should I spend it on this new test? Is this test going to be good for my business partner? Or are the winners in this ad set still going to beat the test? And so lots of times these tests won't get much spend. And I will tell you, there is massive pushback. Well, you're not testing. It's like, well, actually, we did. We did test. And we figured out that this actually isn't going to win. And Facebook decided after putting 500,000 impressions that it's not going to win. And I'm actually going to trust Facebook on this more than me. And we're going to go back to the drawing board. And so what we're constantly doing is coming up with these tests. We'll come up with either 3 images or 3 videos, 2 headlines, and 2 ad copies. And then we'll start to test those against our winners. And so we'll have usually 3 or 4 tests running. And once those tests start to win, then we'll pull out the best ad from that test, right? Which, again, I probably don't have time to get into how to find that today. But you can Google that. You can reach out to me. But we'll actually take that ad ID and then put it into the winners. And then we'll test again, and we'll test again, and we'll test again. And so something I want, as we're kind of coming to the end of this part of the webinar, something I want to tell you guys about is this testing methodology that I really believe in. And it's this parent-child relationship testing. And so a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll find a winning concept, they'll find a winning ad creative, and they'll be like, okay, awesome, that's so great, that one's doing well. Let's come up with a whole different concept. That I'm with you there in some ways, and then there's some ways that I actually don't think that is the best. Now, a lot of agencies will do this. The reason that agencies do this, and the reason why I feel like behind me and I say agencies suck, is because a lot of times agencies and brands have different objectives, right? Agencies want to seem as though they're doing a lot of work for you, right? They want to try to justify what they're charging by seeming like they're busy all the time, right? Who doesn't want an employee to be busy all the time? That's not the point of an agency. The point of an agency is to have expertise that gets you much better results than you could ever get on your own, right? And so the idea is not to be doing a bunch of different things and trying all these different concepts. It's like once you find a concept that wins, start to create beautiful children from it, right? And so what are children of creative? You have one creative concept, and from there, now we're going to test 3 children against the parent, right? So the 3 children could be 3 different hooks. And I always recommend single testing, right? Single variable testing. And instead of multivariate testing, single variant testing when it comes to creative. And so what we're going to do is we're going to test our 3 creatives, our 3 new hooks, and we're going to put them into a new ad set with dynamic creative, and we're going to see, are any of these going to get more spend? than our previous one? Are they going to get better results? Remember that spend is your number one factor for how well your ad account is going to do. Number one, if you see a creative that's getting tons of spend, it's got low CPM, it's got low frequency, but the CPA is a little bit high. And sorry, guys, I know I'm going through a lot of different acronyms here. It's just, you can look them up after if you don't know. But if it's got low CPAs, right? Or sorry, even moderate CPAs, but the entire campaign is doing well, do not turn that ad off, right? I've seen this happen so many times. Oh, this one ad is getting so much spend. Why is it getting so much spend and the CPA is nearly as good as these other ones? It's because it's your top of funnel. It's drawing everybody in. And so classic, I see people turn these off and then suddenly the ad account tanks and you're like, what happened? Everything was going so well. Why did that happen? It's because you turned off the golden goose, right? This was the golden goose that was laying all of the eggs further down the funnel and you turned it off. And this happens all the time. So proper ad account structure and the way that we do hygiene within an ad account and test against each other is incredibly important. Let me talk to you about just a couple of other children concepts here quickly. So we've got creative children, we've got hook children. We've got potentially different call outs at the beginning. We've got different front cards at the beginning. We've got different caption styles. We've got different end parts of the video. So if a hook is working really, really well, and we know the first 3 seconds is working really, really well, we'll know that through thumb stop. We'll know that through a couple of different metrics that we're going to use, first frame retention, all of these things. Then on the back end, we're going to try different videos and we'll sometimes mash them together. Oh, this one had a great click to purchase rate. And so we're going to mash it together with this first 3 seconds. So in, 25 minutes or whatever that was, that's the concept. And that's why we're seeing people win in this space right now. And that's why we're seeing brands win in this space. I have never been so confident in how to tackle meta ads. This works, just so you guys know. So places that it works, TikTok, Meta, anywhere that's using an AI algorithm to get in front of people. Again, I don't recommend starting on TikTok unless your audience is there. I don't think that their ad platform is quite as robust. Love TikTok Shops, though. Don't get me wrong. If you guys have heard me talking on there, love TikTok Shops. But I don't love their ad platform comparatively to Meta. And it's going to take you a long time to max Meta out. And I know, talking about meta ads, it's like just so old school, but it's because it still works, right? It still works for brands. Places that this does not apply, I wouldn't do this on Snap yet. I don't think Snap's quite there as far as sophistication is concerned. I wouldn't use the same methodology necessarily with YouTube ads. It doesn't work exactly the same way on YouTube. I don't trust Google right now with their PMax product. I think that PMax is broken, and I think that they're going to be moving into a different product. So I wouldn't do that there. Really, Meta and TikTok, this is what this really works on. So yeah, Mark, there you go. That's my spiel in about 20 minutes here. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Again, I'm going to be giving away a creative growth plan where I myself am going to be going through your creative and actually like diagnosing what's going on, then giving you a massive list of things to do afterwards. So I think I'll give away, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them. We'll see. So stick around for that at the end after Mark's presentation. And yeah, there's that. Are we going to do Q&A at the end, Mark?
Yeah, we'll do some Q&A because I know Dustin's got a question that he was asking about kind of like all the shift that's happened in February with accounts, Facebook accounts.
Yeah, do you want me to just quickly talk to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, perfect. So everything that happened in February and since, right? There's been all of these incidences, right? Since these, in my mind, are not necessarily connected as much to performance as they are to the system breaking in different ways. Now, there's been some crazy things that have happened. We had one client whose average CPM was around $12, and in one day it shot up to 1,000. That's broken. That is absolutely broken. And there's something in the background that has been broken at times. The problem is it's actually not everybody, right? And it's not every single account. So a couple of things that we've done since then is new pixel, new ad account, right? Wiping everything clean. That seems to work really well. And seems to like actually be an amazing technique. Number 2 is just recreating your ads and getting them out of that previous campaign. So taking a different ad ID. So you're going to lose a lot of your social proof. the we did not we just hadn't seen this because, and I think it's because we give Facebook the reins. We were seeing this with cost cappers. Anyone that was using cost caps or anything to hedge Facebook in were just absolutely slaughtered. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an answer.
Cool. We can definitely create some space too at the end for Q&A. But let me dive in here. We'll just do a quick time check. We might go a few minutes over with QA and the giveaway, but I want to kind of make sure that we talk about the next steps here of what happens when you guys are driving ad traffic to your Shopify stores. And some of this will apply to those who aren't on Shopify, but definitely because is our sweet spot for Shopify stores. So here's my portion of it. Those of you guys who follow me on LinkedIn and talk to me all day long on customer calls know I'm a huge Star Wars fan. You can also see in my background here. So of course I had to have a fun Star Wars photo here that was taken on May the 4th because I'm just that big of a fan. So let's quickly dive in and talk about how to personalize your site for ad visitors using Because. There's a couple slides here. You guys will get the slide deck after the call as well, but just kind of a few brands that Because works with. Some of these brands are just like really have become feels like family to us. We've got Chomps on here, Canon. They're gonna be a part of that giveaway. The Adventure Challenge is where I spent a couple of years working on their marketing team and being an e-commerce director. So definitely lots of great brands that we've worked with. Just quickly on Because before we dive in, you're going to see a lot of different use cases, but Because is like really thrives as a no-code dynamic CRO content machine. So we've got all the ability for different page types. We can work on product page, collection page, cart, and home page. We have lots of various content types of badges, banners, top bars, images, text blocks, and then we plug in with a lot of data. So Klaviyo is our strongest API that we have, and we connect in with so many loyalty programs, quiz data, recharge. We work really well with Rebuy. We've got the ability to tap into all of your product data, even specific UTMs, which is really cool. So many use cases there. And then, of course, any cart data that's on site. Here's just some fun facts about us in terms of what we can do. So some of these are you're going to see in real time on this slide deck, but we really do help increase conversion rate, add to cart rate. We work with over 1,000 merchants and then zero coding needed, which is really awesome. So we really help save time for everybody involved. So now let's dive in. I want to kind of just quickly share a little bit about me. I used to years ago. I worked at retail at Best Buy. So I worked in the home theater department. I started off as a seasonal employee and kind of gained the ranks there. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Best Buy that has a Magnolia home theater department, but I actually became Magnolia certified and selling $1,000 Bowers and Wilkins speakers. And when I think about site traffic coming onto site, I think about it's a lot like advertising for a retail store. So Facebook ads is a lot like advertising for a retail store. It gets customers to the door and they come in, but then it's really the salespeople who help convert those customers to getting them to find their needs. And this is something that I spent years just kind of perfecting and learning about the whole sales experience, the demo experience. We had a customer experience worksheet and we really talked to the customer and helped personalize their needs. And the amount of times that we helped get the customer the right product, really like those customers loved us and became return customers versus the customers who came in, couldn't get help, couldn't find what they needed. Maybe they were undersold or oversold. So really like a CRO tool really helps become like that salesperson on a website for people. Helps get customers exactly what they need, helps you capture your customers' attention when they come on site. So let's talk about some different examples and how we can do that. You're going to see some Star Wars puns because again, massive Star Wars fan here. But the dark side of pop-ups currently is pop-ups on site are awesome, right? We all use them as marketers. We've all seen the spin wheels. We've all seen some really cool examples of pop-ups, but specifically coming from Facebook ad traffic, I'm going to talk about right now. When Facebook ad users, even Meta, like Instagram, even, TikTok, whatever, if they're coming onto your site, they're loading the site, the pop-up gets loaded, and they don't even maybe know what you fully do yet, right? It's like, hey, I'm coming to look for this one item. I kind of want to just learn more about this one shirt that you just talked about on Facebook. And then they get met with this pop-up and they don't even know that they want to give info yet because they're still in that like not even dating phase. It's like you guys haven't even gone on a date yet. So they close out that pop-up and then they move on, and then the pop-up doesn't reappear for them because maybe you don't have exit intent turned on or whatever. And us as marketers on this call, we all know how to retrigger those pop-ups, right? We'll go incognito, we'll browse, we'll like try to reload that pop-up, but for the most of the time it just doesn't work. So pop-ups work really great for when customers first come on site and they are willing to give away their email right away. But for those customers that are still in that kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure yet, pop-ups aren't the greatest tool. So what we do with Because, I've got an example here, is we're triggering a unique message that's showing up on product pages, and we're tapping this into Klaviyo data. So we're looking at, okay, let's plug in via the Klaviyo API. Let's look at everybody who is or isn't signed up for your Klaviyo emails. And then let's display a message where they can unlock and save 10% today. So in this example here, this little unit that was right here above the added bag, we're using our rules engine here for Because we're looking at, okay, they're not in this whole entire Klaviyo list. Over 21 days, this drove an additional 771 clicks that customers bypass that pop-up because they're seeing this after that pop-up. So this is customers that exited out of that pop-up. It's customers that maybe their pop-up just didn't show for them. And then out of those that have hit that pop-up, it's a 67% opt-in rate, which is just really, really awesome. So this is that awesome tool of Because just running really well. And just to kind of like make sure, because I went fast there, I wanted to just make sure that you guys know that like this is a plug and play Shopify app for all Shopify stores, D2C. It is amazing. We help set things up for you, but you guys can run this. This campaign took maybe 2 or 3 minutes to set up once we got that Klaviyo API plugged in for that user. And it's just tapping in the segment data, which is just awesome. Now, moving on to this next example here. Here's another great example of Because running on site for customers, and especially I'm thinking of like first time customers. So this is one of our brands that we work with, Fright Rags. They're awesome. Of course, I had to use another Star Wars image here, but this is just awesome. They do a lot of cool horror and zombie apparel. And what's really awesome about this is we tapped into limited time only for their designs. So brand new customers to their site don't know that these are like one-off prints. Some of them are. So like in this scenario here, this design, once it's sold out, it's not going to be restocked. So using Because, what we're doing is we're just tapping into inventory rules here, and we're displaying this message on those designs that aren't going to be restocked. It's very first party. It's very clean. It took no development time to set this up. We're just tapping into that inventory. And you can see here the results on the right-hand side during this test period are just awesome to see. So really cool here to see that. Just really great sense of urgency, but still kind of really capturing those customers' attention when they come on site. Because I don't know about you guys, but definitely that FOMO gets me. And if I know something isn't going to be restocked, it's going to make me want to buy for sure quicker. All right, and then let's talk about A/B testing. So I'm going to kind of transition here a little bit. Because is a great A/B testing tool. So we're a awesome CRO and A/B testing tool. What's really great about us is you can do A/B testing so quick and so easy. You can A/B test quite a few different things, and then I like to use that A/B testing to help inform ad strategy. So as we're talking about ad traffic here, let's look at this A/B test that was run for the Adventure Challenge in Canada. So we were testing out quite a few different things, trying to help increase conversion rate. We were working with the team over there. The team came to us and said, hey, one of the biggest concerns that our customers have in Canada is, are there going to be import fees, like import fees and duties in Canada? Because this is a US brand. Jordan was talking to me about this and it's like, hey, as somebody in Canada, this is like for sure a big deal for me because you don't want to be hit with surprise fees and stuff like that as you're getting ships things internationally. And they have a 3PL in Canada, so they don't have to worry about that. But what we wanted to do is really help increase conversion rate at that last stop in the cart there. And so we created this test of just A/B testing and clean with Because and without Because here. And we tested this message in cart. So it's a very simple message of no import fees, no duties in Canada, 100% secure checkout, ships out in 1 to 2 business days, and then meaningful connection guaranteed. And so we did that. We had a simple rule here of just, okay, the cart only has one item and there are at least one item. And let me show you the test results here because this is pretty cool. So test results, you can see we drove over a 25% conversion increase rate over customers who saw no campaign here. So customers who saw this spent over $4,000 more. It was a full 1.65% conversion rate change over that, which is just so cool to see. And this was just simple money that was just being left on the table, basically. There's no additional promo being driven. There's no extra discount happening. There's no like enter your email to sign up and save. This was just simple messaging on the cart level. So what can this data do? I mean, if I was the media buyer for this brand, I would be like, okay, this messaging drove this much revenue over this time period. It drove this much of a conversion rate. Man, how can I get this messaging into my Facebook ads? How can I get this messaging into that and test this out? So, like, as much as ad copy and all of your creative can be testing things out to help you drive what you're testing on your site, I think that also the opposite is so true as well. So what can we learn about these tests that run, these CRO experiments that we're testing out all day long, and how can that inform our ad strategy to help test things out there? Cool. Well, I went through my portion really quickly because I want to make sure that we cover all the stuff today and make sure that you guys have time for some Q&A. You
Sorry,
guys
Mark.
again, yeah, it's all good. It is all good. I want to make sure that you guys have access to this, so you can definitely sign up. Those that aren't a Because customer, definitely sign up for our 14-day trial. We want to make sure that we take you through this and walk you through just really how to test this out. You guys are going to love it. And then Jordan is giving away a couple of his creative growth plans, so you guys can definitely learn more about that and book with him on that. There's only a couple spots that you're giving. How many did you say you're giving
Yeah,
away, Jordan?
I'm gonna do two. I was looking
Cool.
at my calendar over the next couple of weeks. So I'm gonna do two.
Yeah. He's gonna do two. These are over $1,000 value, so make sure that you guys, the first two are gonna get it. So make sure you click on this when we
You
send
know,
this
the
out.
best actually the best way for anyone who's live here, I'm only going to do it for anyone who's live. If you just reach out to me on LinkedIn, if you just find Jordan West, the first two people that reach out to me over there will be the ones to get it. So just reach out to me there. Just say, hey, I want to do the creative growth plan. I'll let you know the first two people that reach out. That's probably the easiest. I know it's kind of it's kind of
Cool.
janky, not using a bunch of tech, but just find me on LinkedIn.
Love it. Yep.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't following Jordan on LinkedIn, you definitely need to be because he's crushing the game over there. Love following Jordan. I mean, I was following Jordan long before I got connected with him over here. So
That's nice of you, Mark.
yeah. And then
Can I just say, Mark, I need to just talk about Because for a second.
yep, go for it.
because because I am such a huge fan. That's the reason why we're connected. We're doing some work together in the background right now. I love this software for so many reasons. When we were first trying to figure out personalization at one of our brands, it was such there was no one that I could figure out to go to, right? The players in the space are archaic and so incredibly expensive that it made no sense to go to. And it also took me having to figure out like essentially having to have like my tech guy at our brands figure this out and spend so much time. So when I actually got connected to Because, and we got connected like through a friend, I didn't know about them. I had no clue. I was like, why does nobody know about this software? It ticked all of the boxes for me. Again, guys, I don't get anything from this. Okay. I just love it. And anytime I find a tool that works amazing, I want everyone to know like this is an incredible tool for so many different reasons and something that I wish that I would have had years ago when we were trying to do personalization through specifically through Klaviyo, right? And we just couldn't do it. Right. There was no one to do it. And I wasn't going to pay like some of the other people in the space what they wanted and then have to like somehow stand that up on our own. It just wasn't going to happen. So just that's just my big plug for Because I'm only doing this because I love these guys.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Yeah, it's been a pleasure and really appreciate that. We love getting connected to all the different agencies out there, all the different brands. It is so fun And a part of my backstory that I didn't touch on is just that I used to be a customer of Because. So I was a customer before I worked here. I fell in love with the platform and product, and that's why I'm here doing what I do all day long because I just love the offer that we do because it solves so many problems. Um, but I know we're at time, but let's give a little bit of space. If you guys have questions, let's just spend about 5 minutes on questions and then we'll do the giveaway.
Yeah,
Um,
I just want to. I was looking through the questions. Sorry, I don't look at questions while I'm while I'm presenting. So I was just looking, and I wanted to make sure that Dustin, if you're still here, I just wanted to make sure that I really touched on. My entire presentation was about the difference between what was happening in February, January, February. We didn't see those issues by running what I'm talking about. And so that's what I wanted. I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood the reason why we didn't see these issues. And I can show you like the however many clients we work with at upGrowth. We did not see that mass dip like everyone else was seeing. And I really do believe that it's because of the things that I talked about today and these yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that this was all about that. So I saw the comment before and I was like, I just want you to know. So
that's great. Any other questions that are coming up for you guys that are still on? Questions about upgrowth, questions about Because, questions about Shopify conversion. I'll give a little bit of space here. Ooh, Sarah's got a question. Which targeting do you find most effective for Meta?
yes. So Sarah, the answer is no targeting. So Meta is smart enough now to use your creative and all of the data. So again, if you have no data, then I recommend then you have to really target, right? But if you have data, you have API data coming back. Even if you just have pixel data, I do not recommend using anything other than geo targeting. And you can also use, on top of geo targeting, you can also use demographic targeting if you really want to. So say you're targeting females 25 to 45, go for it. I don't even personally, I don't even recommend doing that. I really like open targeting has been the best. Again, make sure you geofence, right? If you only sell in the States, only do the States. If you only sell in Canada, only do that. Um, so that's what I recommend as far as targeting. And yes, exactly. It's about the creative. It is all about the creative. And if whoever takes me up on the creative growth plan, I will show you how we actually look at it and look at the particular in the frequency is where we're seeing the big differences and how to see where something sits in the funnel.
Paula's making a joke about your wall because she's a golfer. She wants to tee off your wall.
Oh, yes. I was wondering what you're saying there, Paula. Yeah. Yes. It's not real grass, everyone.
Cool. Well, without further ado, if there's no other questions, last minute question from Sarah. What are your thoughts on ideal structure for a normal ecom brand, an ACS campaign, dynamic remarketing, and static prospecting?
Yeah, sorry, Sarah. I'm going to be super honest with you here. I don't love Advantage Plus. Not a big Advantage Plus fan. The one campaign, that's it. One campaign. I don't want you to have retargeting. Catalog ads are a little bit different. Catalog ads are a different business objective. So one campaign per business objective, including catalog ads. So I like to have one campaign that's really doing the heavy lifting, and then a catalog ad that is a bit of a different business objective that's cleaning up a lot of people came in on a certain product and they may want a different product. So those two are like max. Again, if you have multiple product lines or multiple business objectives, multiple campaigns for that, but that's it. No, nothing else. So no, not one ad set. So within there, you're going to have multiple ad sets in a CBO campaign. And then as far as different ads that you're going to have in there, max, you're going to have 5 ads running in your winners. And then everything else is going to be dynamic creative tests, one per ad set, max 5 that you're going to be testing against your winners.
Oh, that's some really great questions coming from Sarah. Well, let's wrap this up with our giveaway. So I'm gonna, just so we're completely all fair here and you guys can see this in real time, I'm about to click on this wheel here and we're gonna see who's gonna win our little giveaway today. It is rolling, it is rolling, and let's see, let's see, let's see.
Wheel of names.
Ooh, it's gonna go to Brady. Brady, are you still on the call today. If you are, just let us know in the chat. Is Brady still here? Let me check here. I don't see that Brady's still here. So, you know what? I'm gonna spin this again.
Okay, Brady, you missed
Ooh,
out.
so close. Okay, let's see.
I don't see my name on
Yeah,
there
you can't
either.
win, Jordan.
So,
Walter, Walter, you're still here? Looking. Oh, he was just here and he just logged off. So you know what?
Walter.
You guys are missing out by just seconds here. We're gonna spin it
Chances are
one
getting
last
better
time.
and better, though.
Oh,
Oh,
come on. I
Brady.
can't choose
Brady,
Brady
get out of
again.
here.
Okay, hold on here. We gotta decrease the odds here for you or increase the odds for you guys. Ooh, Alexa? Alexa, it looks like you're still here. Are you still here, Alexa? Hello from
Yes,
Alexa.
Alexa.
Awesome. Thanks for sticking it through all the way, Alexa. Look at you. Third time's the charm. You definitely won our giveaway today. So thanks for hanging out and spending the time with us today. Thanks for everybody else. Really, really thankful for all of you guys today and hanging out with us. Really excited about the continued partnership we're going to have with Upgrowth Commerce. We'll make sure that you guys get the recording out. Also, I know lots and lots of links were shared from our team in the Zoom chat there on how to get connected with Jordan, his podcast link, everything like that. So be sure to keep an eye out on our LinkedIn as well for the next webinar when we're going to have that. We're also launching a podcast soon too, which is pretty cool. Oh, look at those balloons from Jordan. Cool. Well, thanks everybody. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. And you know what? We will talk soon.
Appreciate you guys. See ya.
Bye.